rolls like
you
that.
really wanna party with me? Let me see just what you got for me. Put all your hands where my eyes can see.
Straight buck wildin' in the place to be.
If you really wanna party with me,
Let me see just what you got for me.
put all your hands where my eyes can see.
Straight buck wildin' in the place to be. If you really wanna party with me.
So here it goes. We got the old OS going on here. This is 1.2, and out with the old, in with the new. Transform. Here it is, your first look at the MPC software version 1.3. The first thing you're going to notice probably is the new icon system here for all your modes. And if you mouse over them, it'll tell you, okay, this is your program mixer. There's a P icon with some mixer tracks. Track mixer is a little T with an eyeball. And these icons actually are pretty good representations of what they are. Step sequencer is a little step ladder, and so on. Main mode 16 pads. Now, what else has changed a little bit is the sequence track block. Next to program, you have a little plus sign, and that's where you can pick your program types. Now, one of the biggest concerns was how 1.1 and 1.2 was dealing with plugins, creating some instability. And I have great news that it has been completely reworked in 1.3. And I've had songs that I made that crashed on me. I couldn't even load up anymore on 1.2. And those are loading in beautifully in 1.3 now. So let me just show you real quick the new plugin, the way it handles plugins. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to turn my type to plugin. And we are going to pick. You'll see a new pop-up here when you go to your plugins. I'm going to pick one of the MPC expansions. I'm going to pick the bank. Okay. If, let's say I'll go to another track. Okay, and if I wanted to pull up a new plugin, a program is created to make a shell for that plugin. So I will go here to programming, click plus, and you'll see it's temporarily named plugin 2 while I look for which audio unit or VST I want to load up. And then once you click on it, okay, it shows it's now the WUB. But being that they're not creating new instances anymore when a sequence is copied, and that the plugins are kept inside these program shells, it seems to be the magic solution, and it's super stable. So there it is. Now, also here, as far as plugins, we could, whenever you have a plugin loaded, you could go to Program Edit on all the MPC software, and before you would just see numbers. Well, now, software companies are going to be able to put their own GUI inside of their plugin to pull up in Program Edit. For instance, okay, if we're on the WUB, if I go here to Program Edit, you will see the actual interface of the WUB right here. Before, you would have to click on the E to actually pull that up. So you see you have the bank, and if you wanted to edit any one of these parameters, you would click on your Program Edit. So if I want to adjust, you know, the cutoff, boom, F2, and now I'm adjusting the cutoff. So it's really nice to actually see the GUI of your plugin here in Program Edit. So hopefully all our favorite plugins will eventually have their own graphical user interface that we're familiar with, that we could pull right up inside Program Edit, like we could do all this stock Akai plugins at this point. They said they're giving the developers the tools to do it, so let's see how many of them actually do it, because it's pretty cool. Now let's go into probably the most significant improvement in sample editing that the MPC Renaissance is bringing us. And Akai wasn't BSing us when they said they're going to keep coming with these updates. So the Renaissance and the Studio software is turning out to be the gift that keeps on giving, because it's getting better and better. So I'm going to jump here to sample edit mode. Alright, and I got this sample right here, and as you can see, as of 1.2, we have this playhead, the position, sample position indicator that follows the sample, which is awesome. That's something the MPC needed too. So now it has that, and we got manual chopping. That's right, you'll be able to click to add your slice points. So how to set that up is I'm just going to go here in the chop mode, and anywhere you're at, you could just click, or if you want to take one away, double click on it. So this is what I like to do. I like to go here when I pull up a sample, put it to regions, make it one region, and we'll really quick, I have audition turned on. Watch how quick I can chop this to the 3 paths. I mean, that is super quick. Chopping, like bam. You know, you gotta love that. And if you don't think that the MPC Renaissance has the most powerful sample editor, and the time stretch and the pitch shifting and the sample chopping is just through the roof, then you really aren't too familiar with the MPC Renaissance at this point. But you should definitely get familiar with it, because it's definitely saving me so much time. The MPC was always about workflow, but it wasn't genuinely known for supreme sample editing, like everyone recycle. Well, everything the recycle was able to do, everything recycle had, you could do right now in the MPC software, plus some with the auditioning of the pads. It's even light years ahead of the workflow of chopping and recycle. So there it is. You know, tell a friend. All right, one of my favorite features of the MPC 5000 was the ability to load in whole folders that don't have MPC programs, that are just filled with WAV files. So what it did was it loaded that program, where it loaded that folder in without the program, but it still assigned them all to drum pads. Well, lo and behold, you could do that now in 1.3. So here I have this folder, and as you can see, there are no project files or program files. And I'm just going to drag that right to the drum pad, and it's going to load in all those 50 or so loops I have on there, and it'll be spread all over the pads. Now that is an uber time saver, and something I loved about the 5000, that we knew we needed to get that in here with the Renaissance. So it's in. Alright, now this one you're definitely hearing first from this video right here. So, you know, if you could like it, share it, give it a thumbs up, you know. Alright, the MPC 4000, what was it known for? It was the only MPC that had a 24-bit sampler in it. Well, now with the 1.3 upgrade, you could choose whether you want to sample in 16-bit or in 24-bit. And it's really easy to set up. All you do is go here to the MPC and then Preferences, and then Other, and you will see here there's a new drop down in Preferences called Sampling Bit Depth, and that's where you pick 16 or 24. So if it's at 24, now when you're in your sample record and you go ahead and record something, it's going to record it, sample it in 24-bit. That's big right there. So you also have 24-bit export. So you have all these lovely export options of the MPC Renaissance, you know, but now you have, on top of that, is the ability to pick whether you want to sample in 24-bit or 16-bit to get it in there. Hats off to Akai. Another great add-on in 1.3, and that's a new vintage mode, and that's SP1200 Ring mode. And what the ring mode does is it simulates the ring you would get when you were sampling something at 45, and then you would speed it back down to its original tempo, -8. And what you would get would be a bit of a ring And if you bypass the filter too by outputting either 7 or 8 or pulling the headphone half out, you would basically get a sound to sound really close to this. All right, so first off, I want to play you the sample without any vintage mode. Turn up a little bit. So you hear those 808s in there kind of bending. All right, so I'm gonna go here in the preferences to change the vintage mode from the software. You could also hit your vintage mode button on the hardware. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here to SP1200 Ring. What's the difference? You hear that ring on the, especially on the kick drum. I'll turn off again. That's without it. Okay. Put it to 3000. With the MPC 60. MPC 60 has a nice knox. And this was the original SP1200. Gave it a little bit of 12-bit grit, but now that is a really nice preset there. Try to put it on some more audio examples here. Here it is normal. And here it is with the SP1200 Ring. So it definitely gives it a nice sound. Hats off. Okay, here's another nice additive, another feature tool that was given to us on 1.3. And that's the purge feature. Most MPCs had purge, but to give you a for instance, all right, I got all these sounds loaded up here in memory, but only 3 sounds assigned to play pads. So what I could do is I could go here to edit, and if I hit delete unused samples, it'll delete every sound that's not assigned to a play pad in a program. So watch over here, and when I press delete unused samples, bam, it's just down to 3. Okay, so now let's jump to the improvements they've done in Track Mixer. Let's pull up this beat right here, turn down the volume, and I'm going to jump here to Track Mixer, okay? And you will see that when you jump to Track Mixer, you only see tracks that you have data on now. So here are all the MPC tracks, and here's the plugin track. You'll see your plugins on the right. And if you don't want to see plugins, you click here to show plugins, and you can turn them on or off as far as seeing them in a Track Mixer. To turn this off, you would just click on this show unused track, and that is how your Track Mixer looked in 1.1 and 1.2. But in 1.3, you have the option to click on this and unpopulate, and you'll only see what you're using, which is a really nice feature. I like that. Now, one more surprise that 1.3 is packing is a copy of Pro Tools Essentials. That's 16 tracks of Pro Tools bundled right in with your MPC Renaissance. Pro Tools Avid doesn't really bundle Pro Tools with too many controllers out there. So it's really cool that it's bundled with the Renaissance now. I don't know if it's going to be bundled with the Studio, but we'll see. We'll know next month. So there again, here again, you've seen it first. Hit me up on Facebook, facebook.com/soundsforsamplers. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to thumb up it, share it. You know, if you love your MPC Renaissance, before I forget, one of the biggest contributors to the MPC project passed away late last year, and this was a great guy, big inspiration to myself, and I'm sure many others. But rest in peace to Steve Bonavengo. You'll live on in the MPC software forever, my friend. And with that said, everybody go get your 1.3 upgrades. It should be out mid-February. You know, if you're seeing this video a couple months down the line, this is when the MPC Renaissance first went into Hulk mode and just beasted up with the manual chopping and the plugins all fixed up in the ring mode and all that stuff. So the Renaissance has arrived. 2013, year of the Renaissance, machine killer.
Hit you with no delaying, so what you saying, yo?
Silly with my 9 milli with the dilly, yo.
When I be on the mic, yes, I do my duty, yo.
While up in the club like we while in the studio.
You don't wanna vibe.